Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I've got several ideas that are quick and easy Grinch themed treats and snacks. These would be perfect for a family movie night or a Christmas party if you've got company coming over. So I hope that you give these delicious, easy recipes a try. Today's video is also part of a Christmas treats collab hosted by Tamara at Southern Wife Everyday Life. I'll have a link to her channel as well as to the collab playlist in my description box below. As soon as you're done watching my video, make sure you head on over, check out the playlist. I know there will be lots of yummy Christmas treat ideas for you. First up, we're making roast beef pinwheels. Now, I didn't follow a recipe exactly, but I did take inspiration from one. I'll have it linked in my description box below. Here are the ingredients that I'm going to use to make these. Feel free to substitute, use whatever you've got on hand or whatever your preference is. First up, we're going to need some kind of wraps. I'm using these spinach flavored. One, it's what I had on hand, but two, I thought it'd be perfect to go with the Grinch theme. And then for the roast beef part of the pinwheels, I'm using some deli roast beef, sliced cheddar cheese. I've got some baby arugula. You could also use spinach. And then I have cream cheese that I've allowed to come to room temperature. And then the recipe that I took inspiration from called for you to use mayonnaise and horseradish, but I had some of this Arby's horsey sauce, and that's basically what it is. So I'm going to use that. All right, so to assemble these, really easy. I'm going to take one of my wraps and place it down onto my counter. I'm then going to take some of the softened cream cheese and spread that out all over the surface of the tortilla. Next, I'm going to add some of the horsey sauce and spread that out. Now, I don't prefer horseradish, so I left this out of my pinwheels. I asked my husband, he said that it was a little horseradishy. So if you're using like the Arby's horsey sauce like I am, I would cut back on the amount. If you saw how much I use, I would use a little less when you make your pinwheels. So once I've spread that horsey sauce out, I'm going to lay down my cheddar cheese slices, followed by the roast beef slices. Finally, I'm going to add my arugula and then roll them up. You want to kind of be firm here and roll it up pretty tightly. Once I've got it rolled up, I'm going to make my other wraps. And then you can cover these in plastic wrap. I just happen to grab the aluminum foil first. So I'm going to wrap those up, and then you're going to chill these for maybe an hour or at least two. You're just allowing the cream cheese to firm up a little bit. Once they've been chilled, I'm going to remove the foil and then cut them into just pinwheel slices and place them onto my serving platter. Now, you totally don't need to do this next step, but to make them a little festive for our movie night, I have some of these Grinch themed cupcake picks. So I'm going to add those into the pinwheels, and then that's it. These were yummy. Like I said, I didn't have horseradish in mine, but I still enjoyed them. And my husband, even though they were a little strong on the horseradish, and he loves horseradish, but he enjoyed these as well. So I recommend you give these a try. Next, I'm making Grinchy Guacamole. Now, I cannot take credit for this. I saw this on Pinterest. I'll link it down below. Here's what we're going to need to make this. Really easy. First, we need guacamole. You, of course, can absolutely make your own. I'm using just regular store-bought to make it easy on myself this night. We're going to need some pimento stuffed olives, and then you'll need some kind of tortilla chips. I got these festive ones from Sam's Club. So here's what I've done on my serving dish. I've added the guacamole, and I just did it into like a teardrop shape to make the Grinch's face. And then for the actual features of his face, we're going to use those pimento stuffed olives. So what I did was I took one full olive, I just cut it in half, used that for the eyes, and then I sliced another olive. I think I used 2 more olives. I removed part of the pimentos and made his nose, and then just sliced the little olive slices in half, if that makes sense, to form the eyebrows and his mouth. Isn't this adorable? So cute, and it was super easy, and it was delicious. I love guacamole and chips. Next, I made what I'm going to call garlic in your soul rolls. These are basically just crescent pizza rolls brushed with a garlic butter. Here's what I'm going to use to make these. First, we need some crescent rolls. Next, I've got some string cheese, pepperoni slices, some pizza sauce for dipping, and then for the garlic butter, I'm going to use some butter, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. I've got the oven preheating to 375 degrees. I'm going to take my crescent rolls, open them up, and unroll the little triangles. To the triangles, I'm going to lay down a layer of pepperoni slices. Next, I'm going to take one of the pieces of string cheese, remove it from the packaging, and then I cut it in half, laid it at the bottom of the crescent roll, kind of the thicker end, and then I'm going to roll it up, and then you want to pinch the sides around the cheese stick so that the cheese doesn't ooze out. Now, I could have done a little bit better job. You'll see at the end that the cheese kind of oozed out a little, but that's okay. They were still delicious. So once I've got all of my rolls made, I'm going to take the butter that I've melted, add in some garlic powder and Italian seasoning. Now, I use unsalted butter when I cook. It's just a preference. So I went ahead and added just a little tiny pinch of salt to the garlic butter. I'm going to give that a stir, brush that over the rolls, and then these are going to go into the preheated oven and bake for about maybe 10 to 13 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. When they're golden brown, they are done. All right, to serve these up, I just placed them onto a platter and put a little bowl of the pizza sauce for dipping. These were yummy, so good. Next, I made Grinch Kabobs. These turned out so cute. Here is what we're gonna need to make these. You'll need some green grapes, strawberries, and you wanna cut the leafy part off, banana that we're gonna slice, and then mini marshmallows. And then you'll also need something to make the kebab. You could use toothpicks. I'm using cocktail picks. You could also use bamboo skewers, just whatever you've got on hand. All right, assembling these, really easy. We're gonna take whatever you're using to make your kebab. We're gonna add one of the green grapes, a banana slice, the strawberry, and then the mini marshmallow. And look how adorable. This so looks like the Grinch with his little Santa hat on. These are super, super cute. And I love, this is a healthier treat. It's really quick and easy. You could not only make this for like a movie night or, a Christmas party, but this would also be great to make like for your kiddos for breakfast leading up to Christmas. It'd be really super cute and festive. And it's a healthier alternative, for your guests other than the sweet Christmas treats that a lot of times we have out, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's nice to have a little alternative there. But anyway, these are so quick, so easy. I hope you give this a try. Next, we're going to make what I call Who pudding. This is basically just a Watergate salad, if you're familiar with that. So here's what I'm going to use to make it. It's pistachio pudding mix, some mini marshmallows, crushed pineapple, some whipped topping that I have thawed, and then chopped pecans. Now, I wasn't sure if the pistachio pudding mixed with the Cool Whip would be green enough for me, so I set out some green food coloring to use in case I wanted it as well. To my bowl, I'm going to add in my dry pudding mix. Next, I'm going to add in the crushed pineapple, and you do not want to drain this. You need that liquid from the pineapple to mix with the pudding mix, because as you can see, we're not adding like any milk that you would normally add to a pudding mix. I'm then going to add in the mini marshmallows and the pecans. I'm going to take a spatula and stir that until it's really, really well combined. Next, I'm going to add in the thawed whipped topping. And if you don't want to use this, you can, of course, make homemade whipped cream. That would totally be fine. I'm going to gently fold that in. And as you can see, it wasn't green as what I wanted it to be. So this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I added in a few drops of green food coloring just to kind of bump up that color, make it a little more Grinchy. Once I've stirred that in, here's what it looked like. You're gonna place this into the refrigerator for maybe 30 minutes or so at least, and then we're ready to serve it. Now, to serve it up, this is totally optional. You do not have to do this, but I had some leftover strawberries for making the Grinch Kabobs. So I just took one of the strawberries, and at the very top, you wanna cut like a V shape and then slice the strawberry in half to make it a heart. Because if you remember from the Grinch, his heart was 2 sizes too small, or 3 sizes too small. I can't remember. Anyway, but I just added that little heart, and that was our Who pudding. Next, I made Max's Bark. If you remember from the Grinch, Max is the super adorable dog. Here's what I'm going to use to make this. Use whatever ingredients you prefer or what you've got on hand. First up, I'm using some chocolate almond bark. And then I have some of the mini M&Ms. These are the Christmas colors. Got some crushed peppermint little sprinkles, some pretzels, and then peanuts. Now, I'd accidentally grabbed the honey roasted peanuts. You'll see in just a minute where I switch that out and use just plain roasted peanuts. So in this bowl, I've got some of the almond bark, and I just microwave this according to the package instructions. Once it was melted, I am going to pour it out onto a cookie sheet that I lined with some parchment paper, or you can also use wax paper. I'm going to take a spatula and spread the chocolate out until it's a thin layer, and then we'll add our toppings. Now, you do want to have everything kind of ready to go here because this will harden up kind of quickly on you. I didn't practice what I preached. And mine started to harden up before I really got everything added on, but that's fine. It still tasted delicious. So all I'm going to do is take the peanuts and scatter them over the chocolate. Then I added some of the peppermint sprinkles. Now my husband, he doesn't prefer peppermint candies like this, so I only did it on half. Next, I'm going to add on the M&Ms and then the pretzels. And I decided as I was doing this to just use some Christmas sprinkles I had on hand. You don't have to do that. I just wanted to make it a little more festive. So once I've added that, I'm going to set this to the side and allow it to cool completely. Once the chocolate has cooled and hardened, all you're going to do is just break these up into pieces, place them into your serving bowl, and that's it. Here's the finished bark. Now, I separated it out. Again, just separated the peppermint from the non-peppermint. This is such a yummy snack. I love the chocolate and the salty pretzel, the salty peanuts. Such a good combination. This is super easy to put together. It's budget friendly. It's a great thing to make to give to neighbors or family, friends, kiddos, teachers at school, whoever, or just make it for yourself. It's delicious. Last but not least, I'm making You're a Mean One punch. Now, there are so many variations and recipes for punch. I'm just using what I've got on hand. First up, I am going to take some of this rainbow sherbet. I'm only going to use the lime sherbet though from it. And then normally when I make punch like this, I'll use Sprite, but I didn't have any Sprite on hand. We just went up to Kentucky for our like my dad's side of the family, his Christmas celebration, and we got Ski. Now, many of you may not be familiar with Ski. It's a regional soda that's made near where we're from in Kentucky, and it's a citrus soda. It's got orange and lemon in it. It's really yummy. You could use any kind of soda. Like I said, you could use Sprite, 7-Up, Mountain Dew, ginger ale. It really doesn't matter. But I didn't really use a recipe. I just eyeballed it, used a few cans of the Ski, the lime part of the punch, added it to a little bowl and allowed it to sit for about 10 or 15 minutes before we were ready to serve it up. Now to this, you can add like green Hawaiian punch, you'd add pineapple juice, whatever you prefer. So here's what the punch looked like when it was done. And then here is the, what did Sandra Lee used to call it? The tablescape. Do y'all remember that where she would make those like elaborate tablescapes? Anyway, I digress. Here are the little snacks. We've got the punch, the guacamole, the garlic in your soul rolls. We've got the little kebabs, the pinwheels, the who pudding, and then I just set out some plates, and we've got Max's bark. And all of the snacks were yummy. We really enjoyed it. We decided to watch the illumination version of the Grinch. It's really cute and funny if you haven't seen it. But you could also watch the Grinch with Jim Carrey in it, or the original cartoon. But this was such a fun evening. It was really nice to just kind of relax, eat our snacks, watch the movie, and that was our evening. Now, I hope that you got some inspiration from this. I hope you give some of these recipes or ideas a try. And again, make sure you check out the collab playlist. Again, it'll be linked down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that you liked this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.